Good evening and welcome to the Hawaii Virtual College Fair. We are so delighted that you are with us this evening and thank you for spending your time with us. Before we get started, I just want to go through a few housekeeping announcements for you. Just so that you know, you are certainly welcome and encouraged to ask questions throughout this session. There is a Q&A button at the bottom of your screen that we ask that you use in order to ask a question to our presenters. You can certainly ask questions throughout the entire presentation, and they will certainly be more than happy to answer those questions for you. If you have a question that is just general in nature that you would like responses from each of our panelists, then just go ahead and ask that. But if you do have a question that is specific to one institution, feel free to go ahead and address that question to that one particular college or university. This is just one of many different sessions that are happening, so I do encourage you to sign up for additional sessions as well. And also, this presentation is being recorded, and it will be available within about a week at the same website where you registered for this particular session. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started with our first presenter, and they are from Macquarie University.
Perfect. Hi, everybody. Hopefully you can see my screen successfully. My name's Leanne Allen and I represent Macquarie University in Sydney, Australia. Sydney is in a beautiful city and is only about 8 or 9 hours away from Honolulu, so nice and easy to get to. As you can see here, it's a stunning city. Macquarie University is located about 20 minutes from the downtown area of Sydney. So you've got the best of both worlds, that big cosmopolitan city experience with the incredible beaches, which I know you guys are all very familiar with in Hawaii, and a beautiful seawater pool here as well. And then you can retreat back to campus, which is a stunning parkland university. We have about 40,000 students, and of that, there are 12,000 international students at the university. So an incredibly diverse student population. Australian students want a very similar experience to US students when at college as well. So you can certainly expect to find the same clubs and associations on campus. And we have a lot of sports as well. One of the biggest differences is we don't have the NCAA, but we have the Australian University Games, which students often say is the highlight of their university degree as well. It's a very multicultural sort of feeling on campus, and that can be seen in the foods and cultural events that are happening as well. And as you can see here, we do have an outdoor swimming pool because our weather allows that as well. So in winter, if it's below 60 degrees, we'll complain it's too cold. If it's above 90 degrees in summer, we'll complain it's too hot. So a very temperate, beautiful climate in Sydney as well. Degrees in Australia are generally 3 years in duration. So we don't have general education requirements. So it means you need to know what you want to study as you apply to the university. But generally speaking, you do have some flexibility in terms of the classes you're going to do. So if you're thinking about doing a Bachelor of Science, for example, you will be able to do some electives in history or languages if that's what you're interested in doing. Our most popular programs are our Business Administration, International Business, as well as our Media and Journalism. And we have really strong in Criminology and Security Studies as well. We specialise in Software and Telecommunications Engineering, and fun fact for you, Macquarie actually invented Wi-Fi, so you're welcome. We also have a really strong marine science program where you're able to do the placement on the Great Barrier Reef. We also have a flagship program, our Bachelor of Clinical Science and Doctor of Medicine degree, which is a 6-year program out of high school. And we have welcomed students from Hawaii before into that program, and they really love it because you're able to finish become a doctor in 6 years. And as part of that program, you spend 3.5 months in India at our partner hospital in Hyderabad. And then in your final year, you're able to come back to the States and do clinical placements at Washington, St. Louis, and Dartmouth College as well. You are able to stay on campus when you're studying with us. It's not compulsory, but we certainly recommend it, at least for your first year. Generally speaking, you have your own bedroom. Australians find it a bit funny that Americans share bedrooms in college. So you will have your own bedroom and often your own bathroom as well. Meal plans are often associated with the university housing that you choose. So if you don't want a meal plan, you don't need to do that. It's pretty flexible. In terms of how much it all costs, So on average, our tuition is about $24,000 per year, and it does depend on what you want to study. Some programs are more expensive, but it's very transparent online. And the cost of attendance, so your flights, accommodation, insurance, entertainment costs, all those fun things, is about $40,000. We do have merit-based scholarships, so it comes back to the GPA and or your test scores if you submit those as to how much scholarship money you will receive. Students can also use US financial aid with us, and we have a financial aid office on campus that will assist you throughout the entire process of applying for those loans. You're also able to work while you're studying in Australia, and the minimum wage is about $20 an hour. So that can also be really helpful as you're thinking about how you're going to finance a university degree. You're also able to stay and work in Australia for 2 years after graduation, and the average graduate salary is about $55,000, which can be really helpful. You're also able to work while studying. A minimum wage is about $20 an hour, which is pretty good. In terms of how to apply to the university, so it is free to apply to Macquarie. We offer rolling admission. So if you're in your senior year, you are very welcome to apply to the university and you'll receive a response within about 2 weeks. We normally require the SAT or ACT scores, but at the moment we are test optional. So we will just look at your GPA for entry into the program. It's very transparent as to what our entry requirements are. So you can look on the website and know exactly what you need to achieve to gain entry. We don't require essays or recommendation letters, and that's a reflection of the Australian system because we very much look at your academic grades to make sure you're successful to gain entry into the degree. And to be successful in the program. So once you've applied to the university and you get your outcome of, you'll receive an offer letter, hopefully, that's when you can apply for scholarships, which is again a very straightforward process, and your financial aid if you choose to. You can pay the deposit to accept your place in the program, purchase overseas healthcare insurance, which covers you for the full duration of your studies. You can then apply for the visa, which again is online and very straightforward. Book your flights, come to Australia. We will pick you up at the airport and take you back to your accommodation just in time to start your orientation week with us. Being in the Southern Hemisphere, our dates are a little different. So we commence in the February and July of each year. It's about 50-50 as to when our students start. We also offer internships, service learning opportunities, and the university has a philosophy of graduating global citizens. So we hope you will join us in Australia, and on to the next presenter.
All right. Hello, my name is Will. I am the International Officer for Goldsmiths University of London. Let's get my presentation up here. Great. So Goldsmiths is a top-tier public research institution located about 10 minutes southeast the city center of London. We've about 10,000 students, nearly 30% are international, coming from over 140 countries, and it's a very diverse student body. More than half our students are of color. We have a very sizable LGBTQ+ population on campus, and 43% of our students are also first generation. We've also committed to a Green New Deal this year, and we're committing to carbon neutrality by 2025, and we're really committing to that goal. Our campus, as I mentioned before, is located about 10 minutes southeast of the city center. You'll notice it is sort of American in style. We have residence halls located nearby, and our train station, New Cross Gate, will take you directly into the center of London in 10 to 15 minutes. So very easy to access internships. And here are some shots of our campus. We have a very wide variety of architecture dating back to the 1820s and to now. So our academics at Goldsmiths focus on the humanities, social sciences, fine and performing arts. We have a law school, a school of education, and an undergraduate business school that was recently ranked in the top 10 in the UK, according to The Guardian. We also have 10 subjects that are among the top 100 in the world. And most of our students will apply to our media communications and art and design programs. And then also we have popular applications to international relations and politics, psychology, and computer science. You'll have all of our faculties here and a list of all of our programs. We have over 75 undergraduate degrees on campus, so not an exhaustive list, but it gives you an idea. Our entry requirements are an unweighted 3.0 GPA, and we do require test scores, 26 ACT or 1240 SAT, or you can submit 2 AP exams at a 4 or higher to fulfill that requirement. We have gone test optional for this year, so if any current seniors are looking to apply, you would not have to submit test scores, but we'll be taking that year by year as the pandemic goes on. So to apply to the UK, we actually have 3-year bachelor degree programs, so it's a bit faster than your normal 4-year program in the United States, but they're fully accredited. And our application is through UCAS, which is the University and College Application Service. The priority deadline for this every year is the 15th of January, and you can apply to up to 5 universities total. So we limit the amount of applications you can make. It's very similar to the Common App. It has your academic history, employment history if you have any. The personal statement is probably the biggest departure. We focus more on your academics, so it should be kind of about the subject you've chosen to study. You apply directly to a program, so it's a bit more academically focused than perhaps your Common App essay would be. Regarding cost, it's usually quite inexpensive to go to the UK comparing to a private or out-of-state university in the United States. So we have tuition ranging from about £16,000 to £23,000, and the total cost of attendance, including accommodation, any food, socializing, things like that, converted to US dollars for you conveniently, is anywhere between 36 and 39,000 US. We do have international scholarships you can apply to after you've been accepted to the school, and we also accept federal loans. And accommodations are going to be suite style. It's very similar to Macquarie. It's going to be a single study room. So you have your own room with your own bathroom, and then you share a kitchen and living space. And we do guarantee accommodation for students in their first year, for international students, I should say, in their first year. And after that, it's very common to move off to private housing. So you can find a flat with your friends. We also place a really large emphasis at Goldsmiths on careers in your future. We will give you the support of our career service for up to 3 years after you graduate. And a lot of our programs have built-in work placements and internships in your 2nd or 3rd year that you can really get a leg up on your CV and start building it out and use your time in school wisely to have an internship or work placement. We're also opening a business incubator on campus next year. About 14% of our students start their own business within 1 year of graduation. So we have a very high entrepreneurial rate already, and we're hoping this business incubator, which will be giving out grants to students as well to start their own business, will kind of help further that along even more. And we also have a lot of clubs and societies on campus through our Students' Union, and it's very common in the UK for students to participate in something while they're at school. So we highly encourage our students to get involved. We have all kinds of clubs. We have a K-pop society. There's Hacksmiths, which is our computer science society. We have the school paper, a literary magazine, and then over 20 sports to choose from as well, which can be either intramural or intercollegiate. So if you have any other questions about studying in the UK in general, or coming to Goldsmiths, my email address is there. You can feel free to email me, and our QR code is for our mailing list. So feel free to sign up to stay informed on all things Goldsmiths. So thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Just a reminder to our attendees that encourage you to ask questions throughout these presentations. Next up, we have Richmond, the American International University in London.
Hello, everyone. All right, thank you for joining us. My name is Brian, and I work for Richmond, the American International University in London. I am based in the United States, currently working out of our Boston office with a couple of colleagues that help recruit throughout the United States. Richmond is a private, independent, not-for-profit university. We are a little bit unique in that we are able to award degrees from both the United Kingdom as well as the United States. We are a liberal arts school that follows a 4-year curriculum. So unlike a lot of schools that are in the United Kingdom or in Europe, we have a 4-year pathway for all of our bachelor's degrees. There is an accelerated option for most of our majors where students can do a 3-year option, and that is through advanced placement or IB credit. We are a very small university compared to the others that have gone before me. We are about 1,000 students at the undergraduate level, and then we have a couple hundred graduate students as well. And we also have visiting students from varies from semester to semester, anywhere from 150 to 300 visiting students. This is a quick snapshot of some of our more popular majors. We do have a business school, and you can see the majors there. In addition to our majors, we have approximately 55 to 60 minors on top of these majors here. These are all within the School of Business. In addition to the School of Business, we also have a School of Communication, Art, and Social Sciences. Some of our more popular programs here are the Art History, Visual Culture, Film and Photography, Film Studies, and Political Science. Sorry, this is taking a minute to load, and I'm not sure why. Richmond has very small class sizes. I mentioned at the start that we are about 1,000 undergraduate students, which means that we have very small classes. Our classes average 15 students. In each class, the ones that students start at in first year are a little bit larger, and then they get smaller as you move through your curriculum. We have a very high number of contact hours with our faculty members. We do not use teaching assistants. We do not use part-time faculty. We do use adjunct a little bit that are experts in their field, but for the most part, all of our faculty are full tenure faculty. Every student has a personal academic advisor to help you navigate through your major, through your minors, as well as selecting an integrated internship. And I do have a slide on internships, so I'm not going to spend time on that. We are a very diverse international student body. We have students literally from all over the world. About 25 to 30%, varies from year to year, but about 25 to 30% of our students do come from the United States. As well as Hawaii. We have several students on campus from Hawaii right now. We have study abroad opportunities around the world, and we do offer on-campus accommodation. Richmond has 2 campuses. One is in downtown central London, right in Kensington city center, and then also in Richmond upon Thames, which is about 20 to 25 minutes outside of the city center. Students that join Richmond start at Richmond. It's a little bit out in the country. It's a lot of open green space, very peaceful, very quiet, yet only 20 to 25 minutes from downtown London. Students spend their first 2 years studying there. And again, we do have on-campus accommodation. Then years 3 and 4, all of our students move to our downtown Kensington campus, which is also where our graduate students study for the duration of their program. Again, we are the only university in the UK that awards students both a US and a UK degree. So in addition to being accredited in the United Kingdom, we do have Middle States Commission accreditation here in the United States. So all students receive 2 diplomas. I won't talk a lot about London because some of my former presenters mentioned London and did quite well, so I will not spend a lot of time on this slide. These are some out and about downtown London iconic photos where students have access to a lot of art venues. There's a lot of history, there's a lot of music, play, theater. Our students tend to be extremely involved. Sorry, I'm going to skip ahead here. In clubs and societies, activities on campus. Some of them are academic based, some of them are cultural based, some of them are just fun. Like we have a baking club on campus, which is a spin-off from the Great British Bake Off. Football club, fashion society. There is a comprehensive list of all of our clubs and societies on our website. These are some of the more popular ones. I mentioned briefly internships. The vast majority of our students do take part in an internship. It's not required, but it is strongly encouraged. And again, you work with your academic advisor to select an internship that is appropriate for your major and also appropriate for what you want to, the workforce that you want to be in when you graduate from Richmond. We have, this is a sampling of our internships, some of the more popular ones, but we have a full comprehensive list on our website of all of the internships. So students are required to have a 3.0. We are a school that's on a 4.0 scale, so the equivalent of a B, and must be in their 3rd year of study. Our internships vary in length from 8 to 10 weeks, and they are available around the calendar year, fall, spring, or summer. Quickly, entry requirements. We look at the type of school that you attended, the curriculum that you followed, IB, honors, etc. We look at extracurricular involvements, whether that's a club, a sport, volunteerism, work. We look at a letter of reference and a personal statement. We do accept the common application, we accept the UCAS application, and we also have a direct application on our website that is free of charge for students to complete. This is my contact information here in Boston. Again, I cover, along with my colleagues here in the States, we cover the United States, including Hawaii. We are here to help you. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. That's what we are here for. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Our next presenter is going to be from University of Melbourne.
Okay, good day everyone. This is Todd St. Vrain. I'm from the University of Melbourne, so back to Australia. So let's take you back down under, and let me quickly stop sharing my screen and try this again. 1 second here. It's the world that we live in, right? Okay, let me, it's working before, give me 1 more second. So anyway, while I sort out my technical issues, I'll quickly tell you that we are a large public research intensive university and date back to 1853. And we are the oldest university in Australia. So let's try this 1 more time, and there we go. So welcome to UniMelb. So why would you come to Melbourne for your degree? So we are actually ranked 26th in the world. So it's the prestige of going to a university that is regarded as an Australian equivalent of an Ivy League. And we are a very large university. We have 25,000 undergraduates and an equal number of graduate students. Our American community is probably several hundred students, consisting of full degree and also study abroad students. You're coming to a multicultural country and with people from friends around the world, which also makes great eating. So we have great graduate outcomes, and all international students in Australia have the ability to stay for 2 years and work after graduation. So you have options as to where you would begin your life after graduation. And you're doing all of this in Melbourne, a city of 4 million people, 7 times voted the most livable city in the world. So like most Australian universities, our degrees are just 3 years. And at the current exchange rate, our annual average tuition is going to be about $29,000 US. So we have streamlined our degrees into just 8 degrees, but within that, there's about 150 different majors, and you can look at our study site to explore all of your options. We can talk more in depth one-on-one. Our curriculum is different from other Australian universities, that we're the only one that approaches something like general education. Breadth subjects are 25% of your degree, which really gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of deciding for a major, or even changing majors, or even waiting until your final 3rd year to do that. But again, that is still within the 3 years that you have. Also, like Australian universities, admissions is only going to be based on academic achievements. No personal statements, interviews, and references, unless it's something like fine arts. So it varies, the entry requirements per degree, and you're looking at either an SAT or an ACT minimum. We currently are not test optional. It is under review because we know the challenges. And because of our difference in academic calendar, you actually would not have to present a test until the end of your senior year. It's going to be an unweighted GPA, which is going to again range. And we are one of the few Australian universities that does require AP exams of an exam of 3 or better in order to meet certain prerequisites. If anyone is doing the IB, we also have guaranteed entry based on these scores. And all of this is detailed on our website. If there's any transfer students, we also would just be looking at your undergraduate GPA for admittance. We do have scholarships for international students who, those are the scores there that you can see either for the IB SAT, ACT, and the GPA. So it is different down under. Our seasons are opposite, and so are semesters. So you would have the option of either starting very shortly after your high school graduation, of starting in our semester 2, which is possible, or having a bit of a mini gap year and starting the following March, the year after graduation. So my advice to you is we do also offer rolling admissions. So my advice would be to start your application and apply at the same time that you are applying to universities in the US. It's just that your start date is a bit different. If there's any Australian citizens participating tonight, your when and how you apply is a bit different. So please reach out so that we can help you as well. We also have a program for high school students to come and spend a week or two. So if you want to kind of get a feel for what a university is, make friends from around the world, live on campus, just to confuse you, we call your dormitories colleges, and you'd be living in one of the colleges. Finally, we are a big island as well, about the same size as mainland USA. Melbourne is in the southern part of the country. So after your 8-hour flight to Sydney, it's just an hour and a half down to Melbourne. So we're located in the heart of the city, right next to the biomedical precinct on one side, Little Italy's in walking distance, and Melbourne's got a great tram network as well. So our campus is a mixture of beautiful sandstone facilities and also some very modern cutting edge facilities as well, orientation, some fun student life. Our car park is famous for being in things like Mad Max movies and all that. And again, Melbourne is a wonderful city. Our winters will be about maybe 40s or 50s. And Melbourne is a city known for street art, for cafes, live music, sports, and also our beaches are about 40 minutes away with easy access to nature. We're having an event for a panel of current students. So this QR code will take you to the links if you'd like to participate. And this QR code would take you to if you'd like to set up an appointment. Otherwise, please be in touch and we'll stop sharing there. And thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have Ritsumeikan Asia Pacific University.
All right, hi everybody, my name is Bethany and I am a regional admissions counselor for Ritsumeikan Asia Pacific University. I'm actually from Hawaii myself. I was born and raised here. After I graduated high school, I went to APU myself, and then I started working at admissions after I graduated. So I kind of know about this experience a little bit, but I'll talk a little bit about my university. We are a university in Japan, so kind of different than the other universities that have already presented. We are in a country that doesn't speak English, but that's why I like to sell this school as an international university. So we started, our school actually opened quite recently in April 2000. So it actually started because of that issue where not a lot of international students could study in Japan because there weren't a lot of English taught degrees. So with that in mind, APU did open, and since then it's been about 20 years, but we do have a very diverse campus. We have achieved a lot of the goals that we set out to achieve. So we keep our student body at half. We always want half of our students to come from countries outside of Japan, and then also half of our students to be Japanese, just so that there is that exchange of culture for our Japanese students, but also for our international students. Our student body is relatively small. We have just about 6,000 students. And again, just under 3,000 of those are coming from countries outside of Japan, just over 90 countries around the world. And with that, our faculty is also very diverse in that just under half are coming from countries outside of Japan as well. Our location, we are located in the south of Japan over here on this bottommost island. We're in a town called Beppu. It's about 120,000 people. Mid-sized city, so it's not a lot of tall buildings. We're not a lively business district. I would say it's more like a college town, but we do have McDonald's and Starbucks and shopping centers, so you'll get some of those familiar amenities. What we are famous for is that we have over 2,000 natural hot springs located in our city. We're actually very famous for that, and because of that, we get a lot of tourists flying in to spend a relaxing week with us. It's about an hour's flight from Tokyo, and from Hawaii, I would say it's about an 8 hours flight to Fukuoka, our largest city on the island where we're located, and then a 2-hour bus ride to our campus. The bus does go directly to our campus. This is our campus. We're located kind of on top of a mountain. And below down here, this is Beppu City, right next to Beppu Bay. So there's a beach right next to where our city is located, and also mountains right on the other side. So anyone who likes mountain, like climbing or hiking, but also playing at the beach, we are surrounded by nature. We have on-campus housing right here. So all of our first-year students will live on campus, and it's about a 10-minute walk to where our classrooms are located. After the first year, students will move out into our downtown area. For our majors, we only have 2 majors. So either a social science degree, which is in our College of Asia Pacific Studies, or our College of International Management, which offers a business administration degree. That would be the degree that you have written on your diploma, but in terms of what you're specializing in, it's one of these 8 fields listed below. These are all taught in English, so if you do not have any Japanese background, that is completely fine. We do not have any language requirement in that sense, but we do require our students to study Japanese with us once they come to our campus. So if you don't know any Japanese, you just start at the foundation level and you'll work your way up. We do require at least 16 credits of Japanese. If you have prior Japanese knowledge, you'll just take a placement test when you come in during orientation, and you'll be placed at whatever level is fit for you. Those 16 credits that we require are to an intermediate level. If you would like to work in Japan, we do recommend students take all the way to our advanced and business levels of Japanese, which we offer as electives. Once you get good enough in Japanese, you can even opt in to take some of these major courses in Japanese if that's what you would like. Outside of the classroom, our campus is very vibrant because we do have such a diverse campus. We have over 110 student-led organizations, which is usually in the form of clubs, ranging from anything from sports, arts, academic. Our sports is not like the NCAA. We are club intramural, so you would compete against neighboring cities or clubs in other cities or within Japan as well. Something very specific to APU is that we do these multiculture weeks, which is basically a week set aside for a country, a region, an ideal, and they use that time to introduce whatever they want with the other students and for the students to participate, to learn something new, something different than their own background. Anyone who wants to work in Japan, they can do so. And it's great because you'll usually start job hunting during your 4th year. So what that means is if you get a job offer, you can start working the month after graduation. You don't have to worry about a visa process. You'll just jump right in to whatever company hires you. For our job hunting students, we have over a 96% job placement rate. So that means of our students who are job hunting, at least 96% have one job offer before graduation. And we do have over 250 companies just visiting our campus to recruit our students specifically because their backgrounds are so unique, especially compared to other students in Japan. Our tuition for everyone, so in-state, out-of-state, international, starts at just over $12,000 with the current exchange rate. From the 2nd year onward, it will get a little bit more expensive. But on top of that, we do offer scholarships in our tuition reduction scholarship. It's 30 to 100% off of that tuition amount that I mentioned, merit-based, but we also look at things like your extracurriculars, and we have an interview. So we want to know who you are as a student. We don't have some minimum requirement that gets you these scholarships. It's we look at everything you present to us, and then we'll decide the scholarship amount at the same time as your admissions. We have open enrollment right now. It's going all the way until the end of March of next year. If you want to apply, you can do so through our website. Just type in APU Japan and we should pop up, as well as all of our social media. If you want to contact me, this is my email at the bottom of the screen over here. I do live in Hawaii. I'm based here. So if you want to have a meeting with me or anything like that, you can also do that as well. But yes, that's it. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you so much. So our final presenter tonight is from University of British Columbia.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for taking some time this Saturday. My name is Aaron Anderson with University of British Columbia. We also are joined by my colleague, Britt. And so if you do have any questions during this presentation today, be sure to just chat them in the chat box there, and Britt or myself will be able to answer those. I'm going to take you on a bit of an overview of the University of British Columbia. And in our time today, I'm going to give you 3 things to think about. These 3 things you can tell your parents later on why UBC is on your top of your list, or maybe parents on your call, I guess you could tell your children. Academic excellence. We have 2 outstanding, beautiful location campuses, and opportunities outside the classroom, what I call active learning. So academic excellence, I'm gonna throw some big numbers at you. You probably just had some lunch, but here's some other numbers to chew on. When you think about all the universities around the world, there's about 25,000 of them, and UBC is consistently ranked among the top 40 of universities worldwide. So we are a public research university. So if you're familiar with other US universities like UCLA, Berkeley, those are our large competitor universities in the US, and we're very similar and have a lot of partnerships with those universities. So you can really be involved in top level research right at the undergraduate level at UBC. Another big thing that stands out for UBC that we like to talk to students about, another big number for you is our international student population. So we have about 18,000 international students from 160 different countries. And from the United States, about 1,200 from the US. There's actually about 85 from Hawaii. I regularly visit Hawaii. I'm sorry not to be able to be there right now, but students come to UBC certainly for that global perspective. And for you thinking about in this international presentation day right now, you're hearing from Australia, from Canada, from the UK, UBC is a good option, close to the United States, but it's still an international option for you. Now, speaking of international, again, the second thing to talk a little about is our two campuses. And as you see here, the flag behind me, we are in Canada, and we do have two campuses. And so this is one thing to be aware of. You may be familiar, may know some people at either one of our campuses. One of the main distinctions is the size. So our Vancouver campus with about 40,000 students, and our Okanagan campus with about 9,000. I'll take a moment to look at both of them. Here we are, a big, beautiful map of the world, and it's about a 6-hour flight. So if you are thinking about California, Washington, Oregon, it's all about the same distance. City of Vancouver, you really got to see it to believe it's very similar to Honolulu in a lot of ways, a close connection to the ocean. About 3.5 million people live in the city of Vancouver, and oh my goodness, look at this. This is the Vancouver campus, surrounded by forest, right on the ocean, about 20 minutes from the city center. So you really have an ideal campus destination there, and really everything you need on that campus itself, and one of the main draws. But it is big, and so that's where you're looking at our Okanagan campus with about 8,000 students in the city of Kelowna, a really thriving tech industry there, billion-dollar tech valued industry. The Okanagan campus here with about 9,000 students is more of a medium-sized campus. Both of our campuses have the same academic range of programs. And so it's really about where you want to be living, and we have Hawaiian students on both campuses. Third point to think about is active learning, and that's some of the things outside of the classroom. This really sets us apart as a top university in Canada, all these connections. So whether it's something like internships through our co-op program, where 90% of our students are graduating, find jobs afterwards. These are some of the companies that students are doing co-op with. These experiences are really going to change your life. Or these clubs. Here, this is a great shot of Day of the Longboat, which is North America's largest voyeur canoe competition, and right by the beach there. So a lot of Hawaiian students love this action, being able to paddle on the ocean there. Many other clubs to connect you with as well. So academic excellence, two incredible locations, and really outstanding academic learning opportunities. I just want to spend a few minutes talking about admissions. And so you will be applying to a bachelor degree area. Declare your major if you're in your first or second year, so lots of flexibility there. Application deadline is not till January, but we will be evaluating you based on your academics in your junior and senior years. We will not be needing to see tests this year, but certainly a lot of students will submit AP results. That's important. And then we also do have what's called a personal profile, and that's a process as well. So apply online now, submit your documents in January, and we'll be evaluating in March or April. Lastly, as we wrap up here, it's important to think about the costs. I know there's probably parents on the call right now. We do have a total tuition. It's comparable to some of those top US institutions, about $40,000 all in. And we do have a wide range of merit-based awards. And so these are automatically considered. You're automatically considered for our merit-based entrance scholarships at time of evaluation. So again, think academic excellence, think incredible locations, active learning. Here's my contact information. Again, Britt and I are both going to be able to stick around and take questions, but feel free to screenshot this, send me an email, and hope to connect with you virtually, if not in person, in the next several months.
All right, thank you so much. We have just a few minutes left before this session concludes, so I want to make sure that all of the questions that are in the Q&A are able to be answered. So for our attendees, you have just a few minutes left to ask any questions that you might have before we end this at about 6:45. So what I'd like to do is just do a final Q&A to each of our panelists. If each of our panelists would just take maybe 30 or 45 seconds to describe perhaps a favorite school tradition that your institution has. If you do not have a favorite school tradition, maybe something that just makes your school unique. So let's go ahead and start in the order in which you presented. And perhaps you would state the name of your school again, just so our attendees know, again, where you are located and where you are from.
So I'll start. Macquarie University in Sydney, Australia, and our school tradition is we have a Conception Day festival, or it's actually a 3-day festival in September, celebrating the day the university was signed into being.
My name is Will. I'm with Goldsmiths University of London, and Goldsmiths has a tradition on campus every year at the start of the year as a sort of induction event where we bring all of our students to do kind of a meetup in one place, which this year was virtual. But yeah, that's kind of our usual tradition every year.
All right, this is Brian again from Richmond, the American International University in London. I think one of the unique things about us, I mentioned earlier in my presentation, but want to emphasize again, is that we are the only United Kingdom degree granting institution that has powers to also award degrees in the United States. So all students receive 2 diplomas, 2 degrees, fully recognized there as well as here in the United States.
Okay, this is Todd from Todd from the University of Melbourne. I would say that, again, what makes Melbourne unique is that our degrees are 3 years, but our curriculum with these breadth subjects is that you are still exploring outside of your degree in terms of that flexibility of, kind of pursuing your interests and majors, and that, yes, these degrees tend to be, recognized as the equivalent of 4-year US degrees. So that's Melbourne. Thanks.
Hi, Bethany from Ritsumeikan Asia Pacific University. I wouldn't say it's so much a tradition as something that's very unique to our campus, and that's those Multiculture Weeks that I mentioned during my presentation. It's a great opportunity to participate as someone who wants to show their culture to the other students, but also to join even as someone who plans the week, just to learn more about someone who might have a different background than your own.
And at UBC, I was a UBC student myself. I think one of the things I enjoyed most was some of the recreational events. And one of the ones was the Day of the Longboat, which you may have seen. Another one is called Storm of the Wall, where you're in a team of 4 or 5 and you relay around campus and you come back to this 12-foot wall and you got to get everyone up and over this 12-foot wall while thousands of other students are there cheering you on. So it's a lot of fun. I am seeing some questions about contact information. All of us will get your email information by signing up. So I think probably all of us, you'll get an email from us individually afterwards. So you'll get our contact information through that.
All right, thank you. I think we got through everybody. It looks like there are still perhaps a few questions that were not answered in the Q&A. I know that each of our attendees will receive a transcript of all of the questions so that they can follow up with you. But to respect our time, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up on my end. And let me just share my screen here for a moment. All right. So I'd like to go ahead and thank each of our panelists for being here tonight, and thank our attendees for joining us as well. We hope that it was insightful and helpful to you. Just so you know, when you close out of this window, there will be a link to a quick 4-question survey. We would appreciate any feedback that you could provide us so that we can help make these programs better for you. Also, just a reminder that this is one of many different sessions that are being hosted. So please be sure to sign up for additional sessions as well. and that there is also going to be a recording of this session along with all other sessions that are taking place. And those recordings can be accessed within about a week at the website where you signed up for this particular program. So with that being said, I just would like to again thank each of our panelists and our attendees, and I hope you have a good evening. Thank you.
Do you mind, sorry, we still have like 10 more minutes. Do you mind if are we getting shut off completely here, or can we still type the questions?
The seminar, we've ended.
Oh, but do we not get until the top of the hour? I just looked at a few more folks here. Or I'm not sure the time. Is it go to 45 or is it just the top of the hour?
It's at 45.
Okay, oh, pardon me. Okay, great. So those questions that didn't get answered, we'll see everyone's email addresses, and as I say, we'll follow up. So if there wasn't questions answered, then we'll be following up by email. So thanks very much for being here again, and thanks StriveScan for making this all possible.
Thank you.
Thank you.